Welcome to Kathy's Eclectic Garden, a garden in Zone 6A in Northwest Ohio. We have a lot of sparrows in our garden. This is my husband's sparrow bush in full bloom. But today, let's look at some birds I don't want in my garden. We'll be right back. I really like this next bird, but not in my garden. Several years ago, I stepped outside to work in my garden and was greeted by total silence and no birds. First, I couldn't figure out why, until I spotted a hawk hiding in the neighbor's pine trees. 3 or 4 days passed before any of the small birds came back into the yard. I never witnessed a hawk grab a small bird for lunch, but one day a hawk did manage to grab a daring squirrel and carry it off. Hawks usually don't bother with small birds too much because there's just not enough bird for the hawk to dine on. For about 2 years, we had hawks visiting our garden year-round, and afterwards the visits to our garden by hawks dwindled to practically no presence at all. For the past 3 years, visits from hawks to our garden are usually a rare sight. Cooper's hawks have relatively short, rounded wings that allow them to maneuver through dense vegetation. I've witnessed how these hawks are able to twist and turn through trees and bushes when they are in pursuit of their prey. It is awesome to think that the hawk doesn't injure a wing as fast as they fly through a tree or a bush. Cooper's hawks are found in a variety of habitats, but they prefer woodlands, forest edges, and suburban areas with mature trees. They are less common in open habitats, such as grasslands and marshes. With that said, they also love sitting on telephone and power lines that line the highways. Cooper's hawks are active during the day and can be seen at any time of the year. However, they are more conspicuous during the breeding season, which lasts from March to August. Even though the Cooper's hawks are fascinating birds, I'd rather see them in the wild than disturbing my garden. European starlings. Beautiful but destructive. European starling's native range is Europe, Southwest Asia, and Northern Africa. It was introduced into North America, South Africa, New Zealand, and Australia because of a misperception the birds were a biological control of insects. In the United States, starlings were first released in 1890 in New York City at Central Park. Descendants of these birds expanded their population westward, reaching the West Coast in 1942. Ohio's first sighting was from Coshocton County in 1916, and the first nest was found in Richland County in 1920. Since that time, the European starling has been listed on the invasive list by the USDA. Starlings are common in towns, suburbs, and countrysides near human habitats. They feed on the ground on lawns, fields, sidewalks, and parking lots. They perch and roost high on wires, trees, and buildings. Starlings damage fruit crops such as apples, blueberries, cherries, figs, grapes, peaches, and strawberries. In my garden, quite often I see starlings bumping smaller birds off of the feeders. At a distance, starlings look black. In summer, they are purplish-green iridescent with yellow beaks. In fresh winter plumage, they are brown, covered in brilliant white spots. Actually, starlings are a pretty bird, but they cause so much damage. Starlings eat plant matter and invertebrates, with the latter being favored during the spring and summer months, when they are readily available. Starlings feed on a wide variety of invertebrates, including beetles, millipedes, butterfly and moth larvae, grasshoppers, and crickets. And in early spring, they love the grape jelly put out for the orioles. Spring migration occurs from mid-February to late March, and fall migration from September to early December. About the end of April or very early May, I usually notice starlings arriving about the same time as the grackles in my yard. I have noticed the starlings leaving my garden for the farmers' fields around early to mid-July. Now let's talk about red-winged blackbirds. I have mixed feelings about this bird. They're beautiful birds and their song is easily recognizable. However, they can be quite aggressive at feeders. They prefer to eat cracked corn or black oil sunflower and hulled sunflower seeds. They usually visit our feeders for a few weeks in the spring. Males are mostly black with bright red and yellow wing epaulets. Females are brown and heavily streaked with white eyebrows. You may not realize they are the same species as the males. That being said, we have had them winter over here in Northwest Ohio and visit our yard. In the late 1970s, Ohio hosted the largest population of red-winged blackbirds in the U.S. states and Canadian provinces. Thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed this video. See you in the next one. Bye.